Overnight, the global picture is being shaped by conflict-driven political pressure, shifting alliances, and a cautious financial mood. In Ukraine, anti-corruption authorities have accused a former energy minister of helping launder kickbacks and moving millions offshore, a case that is rattling Kyiv's wartime government as it tries to maintain domestic confidence and international support. Russia is also pushing back hard on scrutiny of Alexei Navalny's death, rejecting European claims he was killed with a toxin, while Navalny's mother has again said she believes he was murdered. In a separate development tied to the Ukraine war, North Korea's Kim Jong-un has unveiled new housing in Pyongyang for families of North Koreans killed fighting for Russia, an unusually public signal of the human cost of that relationship. In the Middle East, tensions remain elevated. Iran has launched naval drills across the Strait of Hormuz, the Persian Gulf, and the Oman Sea ahead of US-Iran nuclear talks, a reminder of the region's leverage over global energy routes. Meanwhile, Israel has announced a new housing plan near Jerusalem that critics describe as disguised annexation, adding to diplomatic strain as the war's humanitarian impacts continue to be reported from Gaza. On the global economy, fund managers have taken their most bearish stance on the US dollar in a decade, according to the Financial Times, a notable shift in market positioning that can flow through to commodity pricing, risk appetite, and capital movements. In Washington, the Financial Times also reports a tug-of-war over U.S. antitrust policy is tilting toward more pro-business Republicans, a signal that regulatory settings for major technology and corporate consolidation could become less aggressive. Europe, meanwhile, is reassessing its strategic settings as it adjusts to a more transactional U.S. posture, with the BBC and Financial Times both pointing to a widening transatlantic rift despite diplomatic efforts. Turning to Australia, there are significant national security and social policy developments. Syrian Kurdish forces say 34 Australians have been released from a camp holding families of suspected Islamic State affiliates and will be flown to Australia, setting up a complex domestic response spanning security assessments, welfare support, and reintegration planning across multiple agencies. In Sydney, the man accused over the Bondi Beach shooting, Naveed Akram, has faced court for the first time via video link on 59 charges including murder and terrorism offences, as the case moves into its next legal phase. On government and public administration, scrutiny is building around Australia's immigration detention system. The Guardian reports on growing attention to the Albanese government's decision to use a private prison company that also works with U.S. immigration enforcement, amid allegations overseas and safety concerns raised by staff in Australian facilities. This is likely to keep pressure on ministerial accountability, contracting oversight, and the operational burden on the Australian public service. In the Australian economy, a major consumer-facing court case is now underway. The Conversation reports Coles is accused of utterly misleading discounts, with the federal court to decide whether down promotions were genuine or crossed into misleading conduct. The outcome could affect supermarket pricing practices, compliance costs, and consumer trust at a time when cost of living remains politically sensitive. Separately, new research highlighted by The Conversation argues that to accelerate the electric vehicle transition, subsidies should focus on home and workplace chargers rather than vehicle purchase incentives, pointing to a policy debate about how to spend limited public funds for maximum emissions impact. In politics, attention is turning to the coming by-election in the regional seat of Farah following Susan Lay's retirement, with The Conversation describing a potentially messy four-way contest that may offer a clearer read on voter realignment and party strategy. Finally, locally, police have resumed searching an Outback property for missing 4-year-old Gus Lamont after declaring the disappearance a major crime as the investigation intensifies.